Yeah, I mean, streaming's it's been so fun, this ride and journey we've been on in streaming. It was something that was really kind of just starting to get talked about in 2018, 19, and then we had the explosion. And that explosion has been consumers really driving where and how they want to watch content, which is now in a streaming environment, which leads to all those partners, all the ways to then access that streaming content. To your point, whether it's SVOD or AVOD, these fast channels. So now it's about how do we navigate that as advertisers to maximize our reach and deliver on the KPIs that we ultimately are trying to achieve for our clients accordingly. But it's really this fun time now where you have so much choice and optionality. Now it's about how are the best practices to navigate that and really be successful in the space.
And it's interesting how much inventory has opened up for your clients. You know, we saw Amazon Prime offer advertising earlier this year, and then it seems as if everyone else is trying to figure out new ways and new formats. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, you know, the ability to find our audiences in all these great premium environments allows us to really maximize our reach across all these streaming formats. Now it's about how do you stand out in those formats. And that's really where it's really starting to be a fun ride we're going on is how do you take advantage of this new canvas that's digital enabled that allows us to be hyper targeted, but then not just have a one-way conversation with our consumers in just a 30 or 15-second environment, but how do you take advantage of these interactive ad units or these pause ads that we can actually really start to have a two-way conversation and build relationships between our advertisers and the end consumer. That's what's really exciting about the journey we're going on. Yes, you need your spots and dots, you need your 15s and 30s, but pair that with the unique creative assets and formats, which is going to really start to build a new relationship between you and your consumer.
And so in this environment, is there any area where you find yourself educating clients or any key questions that they're often asking about what's happening in streaming?
Well, yeah, I mean, education is for everybody. You know, we need it on our side. What is the new ways of coming out? What's the new privacy roles that are coming in? What's the new targeting capabilities? How does contextual start playing a role into the targeting capabilities? So I think education is key. We should always have a backpack on. We should always be learning. I think that's something that we have to be doing, especially in the streaming space, and that's continuing to evolve and enhance. And this way, our advertisers have the ability to say, oh, I want to try that one, or I want to wait a little longer. Let's see how that one plays out. This way, they can be very choiceful, but they have options. That's the really nice, fun thing going into how we can choose what's the right way to execute for our advertisers.
So are there any areas of innovation that you are particularly excited about, or perhaps the integrating artificial intelligence into this and how brands identify audiences?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Innovation is in the eyes of the beholder. What's innovative to one client will not be to another client. So I think innovation is going to be on your own roadmap and journey. For me, what I'm really finding exciting in innovation right now is that how AI can get interoperable into how we're making our buying decisions to really allow us to be smarter and choiceful when to serve an impression to the right person at the right time that's going to be the most impactful. But that's really how you're utilizing AI to drive reach-based decisions in your buying. Now the really fun thing is as we're starting to look at outcomes and how the AI is going to help us inform what is the right ability to spend and choose on those impressions to drive a measurable outcome that you're looking to achieve with your advertisements. So I think finding that balance of where does reach come into play, where does performance come into play, and how do they work also together inside of your campaigns, but all on the canvas that is streaming, which is on the linear glass.
And as far as the viewing experience, how's that coming along? I know when I watch streaming, occasionally I'll see the same ad in a row or an ad in Spanish. And as much as I'd like to learn Spanish, I don't think it's targeted to my household. So what can you say about it, how it's improving as far as the viewing experience?
Yeah, I think the viewing experience is absolutely getting better as there's more advertisers also coming into the space. So there's better rules in the bid streams now to eliminate the over frequency that we've seen consistently happen, especially in the early days of streaming. But I mentioned more advertisers coming in. More advertising coming in, yeah, sure, that creates a little more of a supply and demand game, although supply is widely outweighing the demand. I'm still a negotiator for a living, so I'm coming after you on my rates. But at the end of the day, I think that's all kidding aside, I think is more advertisers coming into streaming allows for more advertisements to come into the mix. So you don't have that frequency issue happening as often. And quite frankly, that's something that can be solved for through data and technology. So we're starting to see that problem become alleviated accordingly.
Oh, that's great. So looking ahead, let's say the next 6 months to a year, is there anything that you're excited about or perhaps you'd like to see going on in the space?
Yeah, more data enablement and pass back. I think that's something that's really important to really understand frequency at the consumer and the user level. We need more additional data to be passed back, of course, in a privacy compliant way, but through bid streams, we're able to get more return path data. It's going to allow us to really count the house. How often was my audience exposed to my ad, and did they take a measurable action? But we really need to start really allowing more of the pass back, the interoperability, again, fully in a privacy compliant way, but this is going to allow us to properly count how we are performing in streaming, which should lead to a rising tide of more ships really starting to play more in streaming.